So the question says some compounds are given to you. From this compound, question says find the order of reactivity of these compounds for SN1 order. So now question involves substitution, nucleophilic, unimolecular reaction. Now, so for this molecular reaction, we have some organic compounds are given to you. That is halogen substituted hydrocarbons. So we have to find the order of the reaction or the rate of reaction. Now, first of all, we need to find the order of SN1 reaction. Now, for SN1 reaction, the general order of reaction is tertiary alkyl halide is more reactive than secondary is more reactive than primary. This is for alkyl halides. If we have alkyl halides, then the reactivity order has to follow tertiary greater than secondary greater than primary. Then aryl halides, that is halogen substituted benzenes, does not undergo SN1, SN2. No SN1 and SN2. So normal substitution reaction by unimolecular and bimolecular path does not occur in case of aryl halides. So why this is the order of reactivity of alkyl halide? The order has something to do with the intermediate that is being formed in SN1 reaction. So SN1 reaction proceeds by formation of carbocation. So the stability order of carbocation will decide the reactivity order of the halogens. So stability order of cation says of cations, carbocations, tertiary cation is the most stable, followed by secondary, followed by primary. So since this is the stability order of carbocations, so if the starting compound is tertiary, this will give you tertiary cation. So tertiary cation being the most stable, the tertiary alkyl halide will first immediately convert into tertiary cation. So if this is the order, then if you look at this is aryl halide, this is benzyl. So we say this is primary, this is also primary, but this is benzyl, this is alkyl, this is secondary, this is also primary, but this is benzyl, this is primary, but this is alkyls, this is secondary benzyl. Now this is being the secondary has to be the most reactive, so this compound H should be the most reactive because this will give you secondary benzyl cation. Then now look at it, this will give you alkyl cation, but this will give you benzyl. So benzyl cation is more stable than alkyl cation. So after this we'll have Q, then we have R, and the least reactive will be P. P is aryl halide. So aryl halides does not undergo reaction by SN1 or SN2. So whenever we have the mechanism is mentioned to you, so based on this mechanism we have to follow the order of reaction. So mechanism being SN1, substitution, nucleophilic, unimolecular reaction proceeds via formation of carbocation. So the stability of carbocation will decide the reactivity order of different halogen substituted alkanes. So stability order is given to you. So from this we have to define. The problem arises in both Q and R. We have primary, but this is benzyl, this is non-benzyl. So benzyl cations are more stable than alkyl cations. So benzyl will have more reactivity than alkyl. Then second problem says we have this alkyl halide. Now this alkyl halide is to be treated with ethoxide, sodium ethoxide. So now we have alkyl halide, we have alkoxide ion. So now we have to see first what should be the reaction. Will it be substitution reaction or will it be elimination reaction? So if we have this substitution, then will it be SN1 or will it be SN2? If this is elimination, then we have to follow whether this will undergo E1 or this will undergo E2 reaction. So first of all, look at this. We have alkyl halide. The configuration of alkyl halide is given to you. This alkoxide ion, RO minus, this is RO minus. Ethoxide ions are very strong base. So now look at this, we have a strong base. Alkyl halide is to be treated with strong base. Now when an alkyl halide is treated with a strong base, the reaction must follow elimination reaction. So now we have a strong base. So in presence of strong base, elimination has to be by molecular reaction. So we have this reaction to strong base. Reaction will preferentially occur elimination by E2 pathway. Now when we have this E2 pathway, again the requirement for this E2 pathway is the leaving groups, that means beta hydrogen and the halogen both should be opposite group, that is at a distance of 180 degree, that is anti-periplanar configuration. So this requires leaving groups, that is beta hydrogen and halogen should be anti. Second, this E2 reaction again says if we have more than one beta hydrogen present in the molecule, then elimination has to follow Saint-Jeff's rule. So again this is alkyl chloride, so reaction has to follow Saint-Jeff's. So Saint-Jeff's rule says more stable alkene, that means more alkyl substituted alkene should be forming as a major product. So now we have this. The first condition is this is alpha carbon, the one having halogen, then we have beta. So look at this, this is beta. Is to have this beta, in this beta carbon we have a hydrogen. Now look at this, this is above the plane, this is below the plane, so hydrogen and halogen both are anti to each other. Second, if this is beta alpha, then we also have beta carbon here. So this beta carbon also has two hydrogen. So let's say beta 1, this is beta. Now this Cl and beta hydrogen, again this is anti-periplanar configuration. So since we have two types of beta hydrogen, so two alkenes may be formed. So now out of this we have to define which alkene should be forming as a major product. So now look at this, this elimination, the product of this elimination will give you two alkenes. Now let's define which one should be forming as a major product. So the configuration of methyl does not change. Now we have to remove Cl hydrogen here, so we have double bond here, then we have this group CH3 CH3 CH2 group, and this is through removal of beta 1 hydrogen, plus the other alkene will be, so we have methyl as it is, then we have to have double bond here. So now this is the alkene. So this alkene is formed by removal of beta hydrogen. So we have two possible alkenes. Now in this reaction nothing is mentioned, so we have to specify only the major compound that will be formed in the reaction. If question mentions ki what are the alkenes major as well as minor, then we have to specify major and minor. But since nothing is mentioned here, so just reactant and the reagent is given. So from this we have defined the reagent is a strong base. So since this is a strong base, reaction has to follow E2, and this is the requirement for E2. By this requirement there are two possible alkenes, so we have to identify the major product. So now look at this. Orientation says this has to have Saint-Jeff's rule. Now according to Saint-Jeff's rule, more alkyl substituted alkene should be forming as a major product. Now look at this. If you look at this, this alkene has got alkyl substitution. So we have two alkyl substitution here. But if you look at this alkene, we have alkyl substitution, and alkyl substitution. So this alkene has got three alkyl substitution, whereas this alkene has got two alkyl substitution. So the one forming as a major compound will be this. So this is the major product according to Sajev's rule. So this is how we define the product if reaction follows elimination by molecular pathway. Look at this next. So we have alkyl halide with two different halogens. One is chlorine, the other one is fluorine. Now this has to react with sodium iodide dissolved in acetone. So now look at this, we have to find whether this reaction will be substitution or elimination. Now we have reagent is I minus dissolved in acetone. Sodium iodide dissolved in acetone is a very good nucleophile. So since we have a nucleophile here, this is a nucleophile. So this being nucleophile, this gives you substitution reaction. So reaction I minus being a very good nucleophile, so good nucleophile, the reaction has to proceed by SN2. So sodium iodide is the only iodide which is halogen substituted sodium halide, which is soluble in acetone. So since we are having a very good nucleophile, so reaction has to follow SN2. Now for this I minus to replace halogen, now we have two types of halogen here, Cl and F. Now when we look at this, the reactivity order of SN2, so reactivity order says alkyl iodides are the most reactive, followed by bromide, followed by chloride, followed by fluoride. So reactivity says Ri is more reactive than Br, which is more reactive than RCl, which is more reactive than Rf. So this is the reactivity order of different carbon halogens for SN2 pathway. Second, we just mentioned for this SN2, the incoming nucleophile and the leaving group both should be at a distance of 180 degrees. So this a rear side attack. This is what we call as a rear side attack by the nucleophile. So now we have this much clear. Out of this Cl and F, Cl is more reactive than F, so substitution has to take place at Cl. Second, whenever nucleophile attacks the halogen leaving group, the nucleophile should always be coming from the rear side, opposite side. So if this is coming from the rear side attack, then there is known as inversion of configuration. Inversion of configuration. So these products should have configuration just opposite to that of the starting reactant. So now we have this reaction is known as halogen substitution, halide exchange reaction, which is known as Finkelstein reaction. So this is Finkelstein reaction, which is basically used for preparation of alkyl iodides. So the product is, now look at this. When this I minus attacks here, so now this is below the plane of ring, so I minus has to come from above the plane of ring. So the product formed in this reaction will be, this is F, this is H. Now look at this, this is Cl is below the plane, so I minus has to come from above the plane. So this is the product. So this is the meaning of a rear side attack and inversion of configuration. So the leaving group and incoming nucleophiles should be at a distance of 180 degree. So this, by this rear side attack, the configuration of the product will be just opposite to that of the starting reactant. That is the meaning of Walden inversion or inversion of the configuration of the product. So next reaction, next problem is, we have this halogen substitute hydrocarbon now react with potassium hydrogen. sulfide. So first let's take it. We have a reagent given, whether this reagent is basic or this is nucleophile. So we have this K plus HH minus. So SH minus, this SH minus is a good nucleophile. So we have a strong nucleophile. So in presence of strong nucleophile, reaction has to be substitution by molecular. So we have this bimolecular substitution reaction. So in this bimolecular substitution reaction, we have two carbon halogen bond. This is alkyl halogen bond. This is aryl halogen bond. So now look at this. This carbon is sp3. This carbon is sp2. So now we have this option, either substitution has to take place in this bond or substitution has to take place at this bond. In earlier problem I have just mentioned you, aryl halides does not undergo substitution reaction. So now because of this being sp2br, this bond length is shortened, and this bond length shortened means bond strength will increase, whereas this is sp3, this is Br. So sp3 Br bond being a longer bond, this bond is weaker than this sp2 Br bond. So this being aryl, no reaction takes place. So reaction, substitution reaction has to take place at this sp3 hybridized alkyl halogen bond. So therefore the product formed in this reaction will be, this remains as it is, and this CH2. So Br will be replaced by SH. So if we have combination of these types of CX bonds given, then we have to find which CH bond is more susceptible to attack by the incoming nucleophile. In the next problem, we have this alkyl chloride. This alkyl chloride is treated with water. So now we have to see which reaction will take place. Now first of all, look at this water. This water is a polar protic solvent. So we have a polar protic solvent. So if the solvent is polar protic, then the reaction has to follow unimolecular. This is secondary alkyl chloride. So we have a polar protic solvent. So this polar protic solvent, simply treating the secondary alkyl chloride with polar protic solvent. So this polar protic solvent will act as a nucleophile. So now look at this. This is a nucleophile. So as a nucleophile, this H2O is a weak nucleophile. So since this being a weak nucleophile and this is secondary, a reaction has to follow SN1. So in presence of strong nucleophile, reaction is SN2. In presence of weak nucleophile and the polar protic nature of the solvent, the reaction will follow unimolecular substitution. So in this unimolecular substitution, there is a formation of carbocation. So reaction has to follow carbocation. So whenever there is a carbocation, there is always a chance for rearrangement. So we have to go for rearrangement if there is any option for rearrangement in the reaction or not. So we have SN1. The first step is formation of carbocations. Once this carbocation is formed, will it have undergoes rearrangement or not? So first, let's see. This undergoes elimination of X minus in presence of polar protic solvent. When this have this secondary carbocation is formed. Now this carbon, we have methyl plus we also have hydrogen. Now this secondary will undergo rearrangement by hydride shift. So by this hydride shift, we will have a much more stable tertiary carbocation. So we have this tertiary carbocation. So by this hydride shift, secondary cation is converted into tertiary cation. Now this tertiary cation will react with H2O. Oxygen having lone pair of electron will act as a nucleophile, will attack here. and followed by removal of H plus N, when this gives you substitution here. So now first thing that we have defined is this is a polar protic solvent which can also act as a weak nucleophile. So weak nucleophile is substitution unimolecular reaction. So unimolecular reaction means carbocation, then there is a possibility of rearrangement. So first secondary is formed, secondary by hydral shift tertiary is formed, tertiary further reacts with water to give you substitution product. Next problem, so we have this again secondary alkyl halide. This secondary alkyl halide is to be treated with methanol. This reaction is almost parallel to this reaction when secondary halide is treated with water. So this CH3OH is a polar protic solvent similar to water because we have a hydrogen attached to bond, so we have hydrogen bonded to oxygen. So this is a polar and this acts as an acidic, so this can act as a polar protic solvent. So we have a polar protic solvent. This polar protic solvent itself as a nucleophile, so this is a weak nucleophile. So once we have a weak nucleophile, so reaction has to be SN1. So SN1 means we have to follow carbocation. So whenever there is a possibility of carbocation formation, we have to undergo a rearrangement possibilities. So first look at this. In this session, first Cl minus goes into the solution. So we have this secondary. Now the adjacent carbon is having alkyl, alkyl, alkyl. In the first case we have hydrogen here, but in the second case we have this alkyl, alkyl. There is no hydrogen, so now there is no possibility of hydrogen. So we have to undergo methyl shift. So by this methyl shift, a more stable carbocation is formed. So this secondary is converted into tertiary. Now this tertiary, so now this one methyl group migrates from this carbon to this group. So we have methyl, methyl, methyl. So there is change in the structure of molecule by this rearrangement. So whenever there is change in the structure of the molecule, then the reaction might have occurred through carbocation mechanism. So finally this reacts with CH3OH. So oxygen having lone pair acts as a nucleophile, attack its electrophilic site, followed by elimination of H plus N. So this gives you OCH3. So we have SN1 reaction here. So we have to see the nature of solvent and the nature of nucleophile in determining the nature of reaction that will occur. We have this next reaction. So we have secondary alkyl iodide. This is treated with H2O followed by heating. So first we have seen this H2O. This is polar protic solvent. Now this polar protic solvent, we are treating this alkyl iodide with polar protic solvent. Now look at this polar protic solvent followed by heating. Now the effect of heat on the reaction. So this reaction is followed by heating. So heating always promotes elimination reaction. So whenever halogen substitute alkyl hydrocarbons are heated, so in presence of heat, the reaction preferentially occurs through elimination pathway. So now we are heating, this is heat. So heating promotes elimination. So now we are having a polar protic solvent and the reaction is elimination. So in presence of polar protic solvent, elimination has to proceed by E1 mechanism, that is formation of carbocation. So again look at this, reaction follows formation of cation. So whenever there is a cation, we can look for rearrangement possibilities. So this is a elimination. Why elimination? Because there is a heating. So heating promotes elimination reaction. At room temperature or low temperature promotes substitution reaction. So in both the cases we are having polar protic solvent. So polar protic solvent, low temperature, substitution. Polar protic solvent, high temperature, elimination unimolecular. So now this first undergoes elimination of I minus when this gives you secondary carbocation. This carbocation is secondary. Now this secondary can undergo rearrangement by methyl shift. So there is methyl shift. So this methyl undergoes shifting. So by this methyl shift, this secondary is converted into tertiary. Now this reaction is elimination. So elimination reaction E1, whether this is E1 or this is E2, elimination follows Saijev's rule. So if I say Saijev's rules, that means more alkyl substituted alkene should be forming as a major product. So now look at this. The major product will be now possible alkenes. So we have hydrogen here. We also have hydrogen here. We also have hydrogen here. So let's be hydrogen 1. This is 2. This is 3. So we have 3 possible alkenes that will be formed. So by elimination of hydrogen 1, the product obtained will be, this is the product. By elimination of hydrogen 2, we will get this product. This is the alkene. By elimination of hydrogen 3, we have this product. Now we have to decide which one should be forming as a major product. Reaction says reaction has to follow Saijev's rule. So Saijev's rule, more alkyl substituted alkene. So if you look at this contains 1, 2 alkyl substitution. This contains 1, 2, 3 alkyl, but this contains 1, 2, 3, 4 alkyl. So this is the major product that will be formed. And so in this reaction, the product form will be, this is the product that will be formed by this process. So this is elimination by unimolecular carbocation followed by rearrangement, and the elimination is Saijev's rule. We have this next. We have this alkyl bromide. This alkyl bromide is to react with alcoholic KOH. So now we are using a reagent which is alcoholic KOH. KOH dissolved in alcohol. So alcoholic KOH is a strong base. So we have a strong base. We have alkyl bromide. So alkyl bromide in presence of strong base, the reaction has to follow E2, elimination reaction. So in presence of strong base, reaction is bimolecular elimination. So for this elimination, again in earlier problems I have just mentioned you, elimination, both the leaving group should be at a distance of 180 degree, and elimination has to follow Saijev's rule. Now look at this. This is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon. So if you look at this, in this beta carbon there is no hydrogen. So this alkyl halide, though we are reacting with alcoholic KOH, but there is no beta hydrogen. So look at this, no beta hydrogen is present. So if there is no beta hydrogen, will the reaction will occur? So though we have a strong base, we have an alkyl bromide, so alkyl bromides are more reactive, but this alkyl bromide does not have any beta hydrogen. So since this molecule does not contain any beta hydrogen, so no product will be formed, no elimination product, or simply we can say this reaction will not take place. Though we have a much reactive alkyl bromide, but there is no beta hydrogen. Since there is no beta hydrogen, no elimination Kielsen reaction takes place, so no product formation will be there in this reaction. So simply alkyl halide and the reagent will not sufficient for this reaction to take place if there is any beta hydrogen present or not. If there is no beta hydrogen, no elimination reaction takes place with this alkyl bromide, though alkyl bromides are much more reactive towards elimination reactions. In this next reaction, we have this tertiary alkyl bromide. This is tertiary alkyl bromide. Now this reacts with methylamine. So this methylamine can act as a nucleophile because nitrogen with lone pair is a good nucleophile. This can also act as a base because ammonia and ammonia derivatives, alkyl substituted ammonias, are also base. So now look at this. This can act as a base or this can act as a nucleophile. This is tertiary alkyl bromide. Now along with this there is a particular term given here. So here is this reaction is followed by heating. So when we say that this reaction is followed by heating, so heating promotes elimination that we have discussed earlier. So heating, in presence of heat, reaction follows elimination. So when heating is done, reaction will favor elimination. So this being a strong nucleophile, so reaction has to take place. इस reaction में this CH3 NH2 will act as a base. So this base being a strong base, elimination has to follow bimolecular reaction. So bimolecular reaction says reaction has to follow Saint-James rule. So now look at this. This is alpha carbon. So we have beta hydrogen. We also have beta hydrogen. This is beta 1. This is beta 2. So there are two possible alkanes that could be formed, but the product should be according to Saint-James. So now look at this. By this elimination we can have, this is one product. Suppose this is by beta 1 and reaction by suppose beta 2 hydrogen, then the product will be. So now we have to decide what should be the product form here. So now look at this. Elimination by beta 1, we have 1, 2, 3 alkyl substitution. Here we have 1, 2, this is hydrogen, 2 alkyl, 3 alkyl. So 3 alkyl substituted alkene is more stable. So this will form as a major product. So for this reaction, major product will be, this alkene will be major product. Now let's modify this reaction slightly. थोड़ा सा इसको modify कर लेते हैं. उसके बाद let's see a reaction. So we have the same alkyl bromide, same tertiary alkyl bromide. Now instead of this methylamine, this is changed to triethylamine. ये triethylamine के साथ react किया. Now this triethylamine followed by heat. तो अब heat किया, तो heating होने से reaction will favor elimination, and this will act as a base. But if you look at this, around this nitrogen we have 3 ethyl groups. 3 ethyl group nitrogen को surround किया. So this base is sterically hindered. स्टेरिकली हिंडर मतलब 3 बल्की ग्रुप से इसने सराउंड किया नाइट्रोजन को, तो इसका बेसिक कैरेक्टर होगा, लेकिन ये स्टेरिकली हिंडर बेस होगा. सो हीटिंग मींस रिएक्शन इज एलिमिनेशन. तो नाउ एलिमिनेशन इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ ए बल्की बेस. तो बल्की बेस होने से नाउ लुक एट दिस, ये जब बीटा हाइड्रोजन के पास अप्रोच करेंगे तो उसके पास स्टेरिकली हिंडर होगा, स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस टू अप्रोच. जब स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस टू अप्रोच होगा देन तो आपके पास जो एलिमिनेशन है, सो वी हैव दिस एलिमिनेशन. तो इस पार्टिकुलर एलिमिनेशन में आपके पास फॉलो करेंगे हॉफमैन. तो इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ लेस स्टेरिकली हिंडर बेस, एलिमिनेशन इज Saint-James E2. बट if we have sterically hindered means बेस कंटेनिंग बल्की ग्रुप्स, तो जब स्टेरिकली हिंडर है तो बीटा हाइड्रोजन में अप्रोच करने के लिए कम स्पेस मिलेगा. तो इफ स्टेरिकली हिंडर बेस इज यूज्ड देन वी हैव एलिमिनेशन. द मेजर प्रोडक्ट विल बी हॉफमैन. हॉफमैन इज जस्ट ऑपोजिट ऑफ Saint-James. लेस अल्काइल सब्स्टिट्यूटेड alkene should be forming as a major product. If the reaction is Hofmann, then mechanism is what we call as E1C-B mechanism. Elimination unimolecular from conjugate base. So whenever we have sterically hindered base, elimination follow from conjugate base. Then the product will be Hofmann. So in the previous example, more alkyl substitute was Saint-James rule. The less alkyl substitute product was Hofmann. So the major product in this reaction will be this will be the major product, that is what we call as Hofmann elimination product. So same alkyl halide under different conditions of the base, less sterically hindered base, normal E2 suggest. More sterically hindered base, though we have elimination, but mechanism changes to E1CD and the product is often less alkyl substituted alkene as a major product. Now we have this reaction, we have alkyl bromide. Now this is treated with sodium methoxide in presence of methanol. So now look at this, we have this methoxide, alkoxide. So alkoxides are strong, very strong base. In fact, it's a very strong base. So reaction is strong base. So in presence of strong base, ये आपके पास देखिए secondary alkyl bromide. तो strong base reaction has to follow bimolecular elimination. So now we have seen number of elimination reactions. So bimolecular elimination reaction says the beta hydrogen and the halogen which is to be removed should be opposite, that is anti form. Now if you look at this, this is the halogen, we have beta. So in this beta, look at this, we have hydrogen. So beta hydrogen and halogen both are in the same side. So same side elimination in E2 is never observed. So no elimination takes place on this side. On the other side, look at this, we have CH3, this is below the plane. So now look at this, there is a hydrogen which is above the plane. Again now look at this, Br and hydrogen are on the same side. So E2 reaction says anti-elimination. Anti-elimination. That means beta hydrogen and halogen should be at a distance of 180 degrees. Now in this case, hydrogen and Br on the same side. Hydrogen Br on the same side. Though we have secondary alkyl bromide in presence of strong base, but the favorable condition for this E2 reaction, that is anti-elimination reaction, is not observed. So this particular halogen substitute alkyl cyclopentane does not undergo elimination reaction. So the reason is anti-elimination condition must be necessarily satisfied for this reaction to take place. But this particular configuration, both the halogens on beta hydrogens are on the same side as that of bromine. So syn elimination does not take place. No syn elimination means no elimination from the same side. Same matlab same side. This is anti-sign elimination. So sign elimination is not observed in case of E2 mechanism. So no reaction takes place. So we have this alkyl bromide. This alkyl bromide is treated with alcoholic KOH. As we have seen earlier, alcoholic KOH, this alcoholic KOH is a strong base. So since this being a strong base, elimination reaction will favor. So this is tertiary alkyl bromide. In presence of strong base, the reaction has to follow A2, and for this E2 reaction, the requirement is anti-elimination. So if you look at this Fischer projection formula, both bromine and hydrogen are on the same side, which is not possible. So now from this reaction has to undergo, for this reaction has to undergo, this configuration has to change. So this is Fischer projection formula. Fischer projection formula is always eclipse form. So we can write down this as eclipse form. So let this be pH. So this is CH. यहाँ से शुरू करता हूँ. So we have this CH and this CH. This is eclipsing. pH is right hand side, left hand side. So let it be right hand side. This is pH. Then we have Br. This is H. Now look at this. ये वाला फॉर्म है. तो bromine hydrogen eclipsing, methyl eclipsing, pH eclipsing, so no elimination takes place. So now this Fischer, the eliminating group should be anti to each other. For this we can undergo either a clockwise or anti-clockwise reaction or rotation. So now look at this, let's undergo this clockwise rotation so that Br को यहाँ पे रख दिया मैंने. This is Pr. If Br comes here, then we have this pH, then we have this is CH. Now Br is above the plane, then hydrogen should be below the plane. तो इसको मैं इस तरह से रोटेट करता हूँ. We have hydrogen here. If hydrogen comes here, then methyl will go here, then pH will be here. ये चेंज करें, pH इधर आएंगे, हाइड्रोजन इधर और मिथाइल इधर. Now look at this. Hydrogen and Br is opposite to each other. So now this react with OH minus. तो ये OH minus यहाँ पे टेक किया, इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे ट्रांसफर हुआ और यहाँ से Br minus. So living groups are at distance of 180 degrees. So after this we have, look at this, ACC double bond form बना. Then we have, look at this, pH CH3. Then we have CH3 pH. So if you look at this, methyl is a distance of 180 degree, pH 180 degree. So this compound when reacts with alcoholic QH, elimination reaction takes place. So for this reaction to take place, this should be converted into show horse, and in this show horse the living group should be placed at a distance of 180 degree, either by clockwise or by anti-clockwise. Then you have to undergo a reaction, and after this reaction this particular haloalkane gives you transalkane. So this is the only alkene that could be. So from this we cannot form cis alkane. तो सिर्फ यहाँ से transalkene बन सकता है. तो ट्रांसअल्किन बनाने के लिए या व्हाटएवर सिस अल्किन बनाने के लिए आपके पास जो लिविंग ग्रुप्स है ये इधर क्लॉकवाइज और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर चॉइस आप इसको ट्रांस पोजीशन में रखेंगे, फिर उसके बाद आप एलिमिनेशन रिएक्शन करेंगे. सो दिस कंपाउंड ऑन ट्रीटमेंट विद अल्कोहलिक QH रिएक्शन इज E2 by this anti-periplanar pathway gives you transalkene as the only product. In the next reaction, again we have alkyl bromide, which is given in Fischer projection formula. This alkyl bromide is to be treated with sodium amide, so NH2 minus amide. Now this NH2 minus is a very strong base. So since we have a very strong base, the reaction has to follow bimolecular elimination. Bimolecular elimination requires this has to be anti होना चाहिए. बट इस पार्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम में आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है. देखिए, इधर वी हैव टू एलिमिनेट ड्यूटेरियम और वी हैव टू एलिमिनेट हाइड्रोजन. नाउ कार्बन हाइड्रोजन एंड कार्बन ड्यूटेरियम बॉन्ड. कार्बन ड्यूटेरियम बॉन्ड इज मोर स्ट्रॉन्गर देन कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड. इन केस ऑफ आइसोटोप्स, एज आइसोटोपिक मास इंक्रीजेस, बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ इंक्रीजेस. सो कार्बन ड्यूटेरियम बॉन्ड इज स्ट्रॉन्गर देन कार्बन हाइड्रोजन bond strength. So when we have these types of option, stronger bond will not be clipped, weaker bond can be easily clipped. So this being the bond strength, so this is a weaker bond, then this hydrogen has to undergo elimination. Again the reaction says it has to be anti configuration. So similar to above problem, this is to be considered. Why I am this giving? Because when we have deuterium hydrogen, then preferentially the weaker bond has to undergo. This is for all isotopic system. So carbon heavier isotope bond is stronger than carbon lower isotope. So now यहाँ पे CH को आपको ब्रेक करना है. So we have look at this first. This is eclipse form. So we start with this CH3. So CH3 is eclipse here. Br left side, so let's place as it is. Deuterium right hand side, deuterium here, hydrogen here. Now इसको एंटी रखना है. इसको रुके दिस, मैं इसको क्लॉकवाइज रोटेट करता हूँ और इसको एंटी क्लॉकवाइज, और सॉरी अगेन दिस इज क्लॉकवाइज. तो बाय दिस लुक एट दिस, मैं इसको इस तरह से रखा हूँ. Br को ऊपर रखा, if Br is here, then deuterium is here, methyl is here. Now हाइड्रोजन को नीचे रखना है. सो बिकॉज ये आपको प्रेफरेंशियली कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड भी करना है, बिकॉज इसका बॉन्ड वीक है. हाइड्रोजन है तो we'll have methyl here, then we have deuterium. Now this reacts with NH2. तो NH2 minus ये यहाँ पे टेक, यहाँ से H प्लस आइन लिया, इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर ट्रांसफर हुआ और यहाँ से Br minus. So this gives you, we have deuterium, methyl, then we have deuterium, we have methyl. So now look at this. This gives you deuterium same side, methyl same side. So this gives you cis alkene. So this halogen substitute alkane on reaction with sodium amide E2 reaction gives you the cis alkene as the only compound. This will not give you trans alkene at any cost. This cannot give you trans alkene. So this is the mode of reaction for E2 pathway. So finally look at this. We have again alkyl chloride. This is secondary alkyl chloride. Now this secondary alkyl chloride is to be treated with sodium iodide dissolved in acetone. So sodium iodide dissolved in acetone, this is strong nucleophile. So we have a strong nucleophile, so reaction has to be SN. To SN2 reaction says a rear side attack. So if the reaction is rear side attack, then there has to be inversion of configuration. Configuration आपको invert करना पड़ेगा. That means R will give you S, S will give you R. So now for this we have to see the configuration. So first let's define the configuration here. Atomic number of oxygen is greater than carbon, so we have this first preference. This is carbon, this is also carbon, this is attached to carbon, this is also attached to carbon, but this is attached to chlorine. So we have the second priority is this rule. This is second priority, atomic number rule. तो यहाँ तक कार्बन कार्बन सेम है, फिर इधर भी कार्बन है, इधर भी कार्बन है, बिकॉज वी हैव CH3 सेम है. बट यहाँ पे देखिए क्लोरीन है, तो क्लोरीन का एटॉमिक नंबर इज ग्रेटर देन कार्बन, सो दिस विल गेट सेकंड प्रायोरिटी. तो अगर ये सेकंड है तो दिस इज योर थर्ड प्रायोरिटी और ये आपके पास फोर्थ प्रायोरिटी. तो नाउ वी सी द रोटेशन 1 2 3 1 2 3. तो फिशर प्रोजेक्शन फॉर्मूला में इफ द लीस्ट प्रायोरिटी ऑर्डर ग्रुप अगर हॉरिजॉन्टल पोजीशन है, then the observed rotation and the actual rotation will be opposite. So observed rotation is anti-clockwise. Since the least priority order group horizontal है, तो actual will be just opposite. तो अगर ये anti है तो actual will be R. ये आपके पास R होगा. तो observed is S, तो actual R मिलेगा. So यहाँ पे R configuration है. Next चलिए. For the second case, this is the first priority because atomic number of chlorine is greater than carbon. तो ये फर्स्ट है, ये कार्बन हाइड्रोजन, ये कार्बन ऑक्सीजन, तो ये सेकंड प्रायोरिटी हुआ और ये थर्ड प्रायोरिटी और दिस इज द लीस्ट प्रायोरिटी. तो फॉर द सेकंड ये 1 प्राइम 2 प्राइम 3 प्राइम 4 प्राइम. तो फॉर दिस सेकंड केस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन दी 1 2 3. So this is again forming clockwise, but the least priority order group is horizontal. So observed and actual will be opposite. So in this case, observed is R, so the actual will be S. So this is having S configuration. Now substitution यहाँ पे show करेंगे. तो after this substitution, the reaction is SN2, rear side attack. There must be inversion and configuration. So this S compound will be converted into R product. So after this reaction, the configuration in the first chiral center will remain as it is. So we have OH C2H5 CH. This will remain as it is. But यहाँ पे जो configuration आएगा, this R should be converted into S should be converted into R. तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे देखिए सीधे यहाँ पे तो I रखता तो will get the S, तो which is not possible. तो अब क्या करेंगे? Let's see. मैं यहाँ पे रखता हूँ. This is CH3. So if you look at this, the priority order, this is the first priority, ये आपके पास second priority, ये आपके पास third, this is least priority. तो this goes rotation distance, ये clockwise. The least priority order group is occupying vertical position. So if the least priority of group is occupying vertical position, observed and actual will be exactly same. So this is forming clockwise. So we have this R. So S will be converted into R. S will not give you S. S will give you R. तो अगर आप इसको इस तरह से लिखते हैं then your answer will be wrong. So this is OH C2H5 H I CH3H. तो ये आपके पास प्रोडक्ट नहीं बनेगा बिकॉज वी आर गेटिंग द सेम. S is giving you S. S और S नहीं बनेगा. In case of SN2, S is given will give you R. R will give you S. तो ये आपके पास SN2 रिएक्शन, E1 रिएक्शन, E2 रिएक्शन, SN1 रिएक्शन में द क्राइटेरिया कैसे कैसे रिएक्शन हो गया. सो दिस आर अ फ्यू typical examples by which we can differentiate the nature of reaction and the mechanism.